Welcome to the First and 30 podcast. This is episode 77. I'm your host, Antonino the Podfather, and this week we're keeping the chains moving with a special guest. And boys and girls, I know it's cold in most of the country, but the iron is hot in Indianapolis right now. That's right, we have Colts faithful fanatic Parker in studio. Parker, welcome in.
Good to be here. The Colts are rolling. Let's go, baby.
Man, rolling ain't the word. This team, hottest team in the league, best record in the NFL. This is not a typo. You're not hearing this wrong. 8-2, and on top of the world, they have a shiny new toy on their defense. We have a lot to talk about your Colts. But before we get started, I ask the same question to everyone that comes on. How in the world did you become a Colts fan?
Man, that's a great question. How did I? So I was born and raised in West Lafayette, Indiana, right where Purdue's at. So practically been a Colts fan my entire life. And then I've been down in Tampa for the last 7 years. So still a diehard Colts fan. I have adopted the Bucs as my second favorite team, but still a Colts fan at heart.
I love that. Me and you both. We both live in the Tampa area. Fire the Cannons. We're both Bucs fans too. But 1 and 2, the Colts. Let's get into it. I don't know if you know how this works right here, but we do 4 downs in rapid fire, 30 minutes or less. Are you ready to go through the gauntlet?
Let's rock and roll, baby.
Let's do it. Let's go. First down. We're going to talk about the comeback Colts. All right. The comeback Colts. They played last weekend. They were in beautiful Berlin, Germany. They outlasted the Falcons in overtime with a thrilling 31-25 win. What did you see in this game? There was so much action left and right. Danny Dimes, JT, where do we start? What was your favorite thing that you saw this past weekend?
Yeah, big win in Deutschland. That was a gritty win. We had good moments, we had bad moments. It got tight at the end. We had to make a little bit of a comeback, but an exceptional win from the Colts. Jonathan Taylor had an absolute career day, 244 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns. This guy is just on a roll this year. I think he's had 4 or 5 games this year with 3 or more touchdowns. I mean, it's incredible what he's doing for the team. And not to mention, obviously, Daniel Dimes, a.k.a. Indiana Jones. That man is our savior this year. I mean, he coming into the season, we thought that, Anthony Richardson was, he's on a make it or break it year, and Daniel Job on a 1-year deal. And here he is playing at an MVP caliber level. This is something we certainly did not expect, but we are pleasantly surprised. So great win. Tyler Warren played well down the stretch, made a few good catches. And then, as you mentioned, we got a shiny new toy, which was exciting to see him out there for the first time. But yeah, great performance by the defense as well.
I heard you say MVP, and there might be a couple candidates on your team, but let's rewind a little bit to Sir Jonathan Taylor. This guy's playing out of his mind, folks. He toted that ball 32 times for 244 yards. My goodness gracious, 3 TDs. He's on pace to explode, man. This year, he has 15 touchdowns already. Just imagine how many he's going to end with here. And like you said, he scored 3 touchdowns a few times this year. He became the only player in NFL history to record 4 games with at least 3 rushing touchdowns through the first 10 weeks of the season. Breaking records on top of the world. Danny Dimes, tell me you saw Danny Dimes with the bloody mouth. That's like the newest meme on the internet right now. Bloody mouth, Danny Dimes leading the team back. I don't know if you caught it, though. I was worried for a second. The Colts went down in the fourth quarter with a handful of minutes left. Falcons went on like this 11-play drive, go all the way down. They got a touchdown, and they got the 2-point conversion. The 2-point conversion was on Sauce Gardner. So I was like, oh, no. If they lose this game and the last play was them getting a 2-point conversion on their new player, oh, please. I was thinking about you when I saw this. I'm like, oh, God, not for Parker's sake. Don't let it happen. But no, they hung in there. And one thing that goes kind of under the radar, that defense. What do you think about that defense that's on display this year?
I love it. The Colts invested in their secondary. They brought in Kim Bynum. Tre'Davious Ward, who's been out, but then obviously they went out, made a big splash play, and brought in Sauce Gardner, gave up a lot to get him. But the Colts see a window right now. They see an opportunity to strike while the iron's hot, and the defense made stops when we needed them to, and they're playing well. They're keeping us in games. I think they're averaging, or they're letting up about 20, just under 21 points a game. Last year they were letting up almost 26 points a game. So a little uptick in the improvement on the defense, especially with the added support there in the secondary. Defensive line play has been playing well. We do have DeForest Buckner out for about 4 weeks, but the good news is he will be back, and he'll be back when we need him late in the season, and prepping for the playoffs. So excited what this defense is doing.
Oh man, if you see a teardrop come down my cheek, it's because the Bengals can't find a lick of defense to save their life. And people don't know, the Colts have the former defensive coordinator from the Bengals, Lou Anarumo. He's been doing wonders over there. Sauce Gardner, University of Cincinnati graduate, might I add. Then they picked up Jermaine Pratt recently, linebacker. Dude tackles like a machine. So you see Lou Anarumo stirring the pot. He's cooking in the kitchen. Defense doing great things over there in Indianapolis. Man, oh man. I'll hold off. We're going to move on to second down because I got some more questions for you. But in second down, we're going to look ahead a little bit. Let's do forward focused thinking here. The Colts, how are they going to do the rest of the year? Don't look now. They have a bye week and they have to go to Arrowhead their next game. What's the outlook looking like?
Well, I think it all starts with Daniel Jones. This is a guy that has really revitalized this team. He's in a position now where if he keeps performing the way he is, he's going to land a big contract. So the last decade for the Colts has really felt like a carousel of quarterbacks. We've had vets come in like right at the tail end of their career, like Matt Ryan, Phillip Rivers. Carson Wentz and Jacoby Brissett were in there for a little bit. A lot of guys that were just not the franchise quarterback, but the way Daniel Jones is playing right now, he might just be the answer we've been looking for. And he's got a lot of weapons around him. So great offensive line play anchored by Quentin Nelson. This guy is, he's been an all-pro left guard for the last few years, and he is leading the charge there, paving the way for Jonathan Taylor. And it just really helps solidify, that run game, which helps balance out the offense, because then, our passing game is able to open up. And then obviously with the addition of Tyler Warren, bringing him in at the tight end position, who the Colts just did not have any good options last year. Now all of a sudden we have a guy in Tyler Warren who's leading the NFL, might I say, in receiving yards for tight end as a rookie. This guy he's playing out of his mind. So we're blessed to have Tyler Warren. This guy's doing incredible. So I think the outlook for the Colts right now, they obviously went out and got Sauce Gardner. I think what that tells me is the Colts feel like now is the time to win. They don't really care too much for a first round draft pick over the next 2 years. They feel like now's the time to win. Let's bring in an all pro guy. We got a window here. That window might be the next 2 years, might be, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever that looks like. The Colts feel like they have a chance to win and win now. And as far as this year, I think this bye week came at a good point. It came at a time where we're hot. We just got a big comeback win this past week, one we needed after the Steelers game. So now we're in a position to have an extra time to prep for the Chiefs, the defending champs, and excited for that one.
Oh man! So you mentioned draft picks. We let's not fail to mention you guys just traded 2 first-round draft picks for Sauce Gardner. I like your thinking though. The window could be slim, could be 1 year, could be 2 years. It sounds like it's all in Indianapolis. Am I right?
All in. I love it.
All in. And it helps when you have a slam dunk of a first round pick from last year. You mentioned Tyler Warren, a gift, bow wrapped gift after Chicago took Loveland first. First tight end, Loveland. I don't know what they were thinking. Tyler Warren falls into your hands. Oh, man. Huge weapon on that side of the ball. JT, Quentin Nelson, like you said, stud. And he's been a stud for years. It's all looking great. You said Kansas City Chiefs, Arrowhead. Give me a final score real quick. Coming off a bye, they have 2 weeks to prepare. What would be the final score in a game at Arrowhead?
Woo. Man, that's going to be a good one. I'm excited. I think it's going to be I think it's gonna be a close game. I know the Chiefs and their defense, they love to draw up a lot of blitz packages, so the Colts are gonna really have to bring it, especially up front on the offensive line. But I'm gonna say the Colts are gonna find a way to pull it out, and I'm gonna say it's gonna be 27-24 Colts.
27-24. The Colts predicted right here. You heard it here first. Parker's predicting the Colts to go in Arrowhead and win 27-24. If you're a degenerate gambler like me, you'll put some money on that. I know I will. But let's talk a little bit more. We've talked about all the good things about the Colts, all right? Time to play devil's advocate here. Give me the chink in the armor. Where is the weakness in this team, and where can other teams really drill in if you're not careful?
Absolutely. I would have said before it was the secondary. Our secondary was letting up a fair amount of passing yards, and the Colts addressed that, right? They addressed that by going out and getting Sauce Gardner. So we got our guy there in the secondary. Charcavius Ward's coming back here in a few weeks. So I think once we have those two cornerbacks out there on the field, we'll be locked down. So I don't really see a lot of weaknesses on the defense. I would say the only thing on the offense that makes me a little nervous is the turnovers. The last 2 weeks, obviously Steelers game, I think we had 6 turnovers, and then against the Falcons there was a few fumbles. Thankfully 2 of them we recovered. So the turnovers is definitely something we got to be able to limit. Daniel Jones has been strip sacked a few times, and the only thing that kind of tells me is he's got his eyes down the field. He's comfortable in the pocket, which is a great thing. It's just a matter now of just holding onto that ball, not turning it over, and just keeping good, consistent drives going.
Yeah, you kind of saw that creep in against Pittsburgh. That was a couple weeks ago. Saw a couple turnovers there. Felt like they took the lead early. A fumble in Pittsburgh territory kind of slowed them down. And then at the end of this Falcons game, there was an interception. I think it was more the receiver's fault, not flattening his route coming across the middle. Maybe half and half. Danny Dimes, the receiver there, but turnovers, that's huge. You're the secondary, you bolstered that up. So not too many weaknesses here. So obviously, my next question, are the Indianapolis Colts going to the Super Bowl this year?
Absolutely.
Oh, oh man. Whew.
I hope so. Yeah, we got a long ways to go, right? We got we got the rest of the season here, but they've got some good competition. The Patriots are playing hot. I think the Broncos, they look beatable. Colts beat them at home too. It was a tight one, but you got the teams like the Chiefs, Ravens, and Bills who have been those perennial AFC teams over the last few years. I think they've kind of tapered off a little bit, which certainly opens up an opportunity for the Colts here. So yeah, I'm excited. I think the Colts' biggest thing here is trying to get that home field advantage, and they're 6-0 at home this year at home. So clearly they like to win and win at home.
6-0. I did not know that. But you see how the TV maker, primetime game against Arrowhead coming up a couple of weeks. I feel like it always happens this way. Everyone plays in Arrowhead for these big games come playoff time throughout the year. Come on, you need home field. 6-0 playing on turf indoors. I feel like that goes a long way, especially in December and January as it gets colder out.
Absolutely.
So let's say the Colts make the Super Bowl, right? They happen to win this thing. Are you, Parker, going to get a tattoo of the horseshoe on your body in some place, shape, or form, face, back, chest, wherever? Are you getting a tattoo?
I haven't thought of that, but now that you mention it, maybe I will.
And don't let me get you in trouble. If Ashlyn's listening, this never happened. This conversation never happened. But I know sometimes you want to put that permanently on your body. From my recollection, they've won one Super Bowl in my lifetime, at least. And that was in 2007 with Peyton Manning, right?
That's right. Yeah. And they also were there in 2009 as well. So they've had their runs obviously with Peyton Manning and the Colts back in that the 2000s. So maybe this is the next run here we have as a franchise. But as far as the tattoo, I don't know if I'll get one, but I certainly won't be one of those fans that gets one before their team makes it there and wins. Would not do that.
No. You don't want to have the Roman numerals going all the way down your arm. You don't want that.
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome here. Well, we'll gear up for that run here. Hopefully it happens for for your case, maybe not for every other team's fans listening, but let's transition a little bit here, okay? We've talked to Colts, but we talked about an MVP candidate in Jonathan Taylor. But let's go to third down to possibly another MVP candidate here. Oh, yeah, Drake May. Who would have thought I'd be saying Drake May, even close to that in that world of possibility? Drake May and his Maye'triots. Oh, yes, not Patriots, the Maye'triots beat the Buccaneers this past weekend. They come into Tampa. The Buccaneers ran out of cannonballs. They couldn't figure it out. They had a chance late. End of the game. Patriots take the win. There were so many Patriots fans in town. Did you notice that?
Absolutely. I was there with my girlfriend Ashlyn, and we were actually sitting in the Patriots section, believe it or not. So that
Whoa,
was
whoa,
that
whoa.
was not intentional.
So you were at the game and you were sitting in the middle of Patriots. How did that go? Did you get beer thrown on you or vice versa? Was there fighting? Was everyone calm?
There was one fan that was getting chippy. He was a Bucs fan actually, and
Oh, no.
but no, he didn't have much to say there in the second half, so he got a little quiet.
Oh,
So
boy.
yeah, Pats pulled away there in the second half.
Man, usually it's a friendly group. It's warm weather down here. You have all the Northerners that come down. But let's talk about the game a little bit here. Oh, man, it hurts me to say because Baker Mayfield does what Baker Mayfield does 28 for 43, 273, and three touchdowns, no interceptions with a depleted wide receiver core here. Like he's doing the job, but it just seemed like every time you thought they had a chance, the Patriots would answer and answer and answer. What do you think is the issue, or what issues did the Bucs have in this game that let it slip away from them?
Yeah, I think overall their defense played well. They just let up, some explosive plays. They let up three explosive plays where the Patriots scored, I think, pretty much 60 yards or plus. So outside of those three plays, if you eliminate those, the Bucs defense overall played well. It's just a matter now of just eliminating those big plays. But I would say their offense, to your point, they were banged up. They were without Bucky Irving. Chris Godwin's been out for what feels like all year. And
Forever.
then obviously Mike Evans, who, unfortunately broke his collarbone a few weeks ago. So they're, even despite the depleted weapons on offense, Baker, like you said, has still found a way to put up some staggering numbers. So Baker is playing this year. Now it's just a matter of just turning a corner here. The schedule does not get any easier for the Bucs too. I think they got a couple good teams coming up here with winning records. And so it's going to be an onslaught of games coming up.
Yeah, they go to Buffalo. There's no rest for the weary here. They go up north to Buffalo to play that game next week. That'll be a tough challenge, but like you said, there's been tons of injuries, but the characters are still doing great. Egbuka, 6 catches, 115 yards and a touchdown. Cade Otton, 9 receptions, 82 yards. People are playing, people are filling in, they're getting the job done. And like you said, that defense played well for the most part. My favorite play was at the end of the game. Patriots were up by 5. They could have kicked a field goal to go up 8 and pretty much seal the deal. We get an interception in the end zone that really gave us hope here. After that, I'm like, hold on. Buccaneers like playing from behind, right? Baker works his magic in the fourth quarter. Whether we like it or not, he waits till the very end of the game to do his magic, shall you say, and cook one up. But it was just a little too, not enough, little too late, right?
That's right. Yeah, they unfortunately got themselves in a position where they actually did have a drive there at the end. I think they went for on fourth down, close to the red zone. So that I think it was one of those spots where they probably could have kicked a field goal, but I think they felt like they needed more points, and so that was a drive where had they scored, the game would have been completely different. But just came up a little short there in the end, unfortunately.
Hate to see it. Hate to see it. On the other side of the ball, Drake May, 16 for 31, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Not a crazy game out of him, but you've seen the progression from last year to this year. Seems like a completely different guy. Could be the coach. Vrabel's in there, It's a mixture of things there, but then Travion Henderson. If there's one thing I didn't want to beat the Buccaneers, it was him on the ground. And he had 14 attempts for 147 yards and 2 touchdowns. He broke one there towards the end. It was brutal.
It was, yeah, and it sounds like maybe you went up against him in fantasy,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah. Can you tell? Can you tell? It's coming through the mic, right? Gosh,
Yep.
darn it!
Exactly.
It's painful.
He's an impressive rookie, though. I think he broke two in that game, if I'm not mistaken, but definitely the one there at the end. That guy's got some burners too. I think I saw up on the video board there, the Bucs game, that he had the fastest speed. It was like over 22 miles per hour of all players in the NFL. So clearly, that guy's got some burners.
I didn't know he was that fast. Jeez, golly.
Yeah.
So the Patriots, another surprise team. We talked about the Colts, talked about the Patriots, another surprise team there. But we live in Tampa. The Bucs, are they going to win this division for what, the fourth straight season now? What does the outlook look like for them?
Yeah, surprisingly, the Panthers are the team right on their tail here at 5-5. Bucks are they 6-3 or 6-4?
Yeah, I think it's 6-3.
Yeah,
Five.
so we got the Panthers right on our tails here, and surprisingly, I don't think this is a team that anyone really took too seriously, but they did just beat the Packers 2 weeks ago, so they're clearly a competitive team. So it'll be a tight race. The last few years, the Bucks have been able to pull it off, even despite I think one of the years, I think it was Brady's last year. I think they won the division even at 8-9, so they've they've been able to win the division even that right at about a 500 record. So. I think it's going to take at least 10 wins to win this
Mhm.
division. I think the Bucs are going to have to at least pull it off. So we're looking at, four more victories here throughout the last 8 or 9 weeks of the season.
Ooh, well, we'll see if they can find 4 wins there. Like you said, they have a tough schedule, but one game at a time. They're going to Buffalo. Buffalo Bills just lost to Miami, and Miami pretty badly. So in this league, I feel like week by week, anything can happen. You saw Buffalo fall. The Panthers, one week they beat the Cowboys, the next week they get killed. Like, who knows? We'll go with the flow here and see what happens next. But I want to switch things up. It's fourth and long. All right. It's fourth and long. And here we always go for it. So let's play a little game. It's called Flag on the Take. All right. So I'm going to give you a proclamation, and you either agree with me and say why, or you throw a flag and grill me as much as you want. Okay. First thing is first, Shedeur Sanders, yep, I said it, should be the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns.
I agree. I agree. I think the Browns got to make a change here. I think they got to give a younger guy a shot, get him in there, see how he does, give him an opportunity, and see if he fits well in the offensive scheme and performs well enough to get this team into a position to win some ball games. Why not? Give him a shot.
Why not? Why not? I couldn't agree with you more. I watched the Browns game. Don't ask why. Girlfriend's a Browns fan. I know. But Dylan Gabriel, quarterback out of Oregon, he's a rookie, third round pick, I believe, looks putrid, awful, terrible. All the words, synonyms, bad. They need to see what they got in Shedeur. Played well in the preseason. Who knows? We might see him here soon after they just lost to the Jets. All right. Next proclamation. I'm going to try and test you here. All right. This might be a tough one. There's a hot topic here. Hot topic. The tush push is disgusting, a disgrace of the game of football, and needs to be taken out right now.
Whew, that is a controversial one. I'm going to throw a flag on you, though.
Oh, no.
Ooh, yeah.
Why?
As much as people disagree, I'm going to say that I think they're just upset that they can't find a way to stop it, and
Ooh.
it's legal. It's legal until obviously the league changes the ruling on it. But for now, it's working, and teams haven't found a way to stop it. And so, yeah,
Yeah,
I
don't hate them if
can't
you
say I'm
can't beat
cheering for
it.
the Eagles here, but hey, it's working for them.
Yeah. Right? If everyone could do it, they'd be doing it, right? And it seems like they're the only
Exactly.
ones that could do it. I don't know if people have caught the video of Jalen Hurts in Oklahoma. He like squats a bajillion pounds. It's like 500 something pounds, like squatting. It looks like when he was coming up, his brain was going to explode out of his head. The dude can squat a ton. Point being, when you do that tush push, it's his power, his squat power right there. But then the guy behind them, hard to stop. Offensive lineman. Ugh. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But we'll move on to the next one. All right. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs will get to their third season going to the Super Bowl in a row and possibly win.
Oh, flag. Not only
Ah!
flag, I think you're ejected for that one. Targeting.
I think it's safe to say we all hate the Chiefs here. I'm so sick of seeing Patrick Mahomes, Arrowhead Stadium. I'm so Taylor Swift. I'm tired of it. But you don't think they're going to get back to the Super Bowl this year?
I don't think so. I think they still have a competitive team. I think that I think it's someone else's turn now, and I think there's a lot of competition there at the top of the race in the AFC, and I just don't see the Chiefs getting it done this year. I think their dynasty. I would say it's over, but I will say that there are other teams that are playing better than them this year that I think have a better chance.
For all of our sake, I hope you're right on this one. I think we're all throwing flags on that take. Please, please don't let this happen again. All right, let's move. I had a guest come in last week or a couple weeks ago. She was a Steelers fan. Let's give it to her straight here. Rodgers and Tomlin are both going to be fired if they miss the playoffs and when they miss the playoffs this year.
Woo! I'm going to throw a flag.
Oh, okay.
And the reason being, I think Mike Tomlin has had a ton of success there. I think he's a player's coach. I think the guys love him. I certainly would love him if he was my coach, coaching for the Colts. But Shane Steichen's he has a role in this year. But Mike Tomlin, I think if he can win the division, obviously he'll keep his job. But if they don't make the playoffs, I do think it could be the end for Aaron Rodgers. Though he's right at the tail end of his career, and he plays like it at times. So. That very well could be the case.
I know a lot of Pittsburgh fans, and they're sick of Mike Tomlin. Some teams would love to have a coach like him and be above 500, 18 years in a row, some crazy stat like that. So some teams wish they had him, and Pittsburgh, sometimes you're just too spoiled. You don't realize what you have. So it's a little love-hate thing from the Pittsburgh fandom on Mike Tomlin. But Rodgers, I have to agree with you. They played the Chargers this past week. It looked really bad. He's looking his age. He got beat up pretty bad. He had a garbage time touchdown that made me lose fantasy by 2 points. And I think Rodgers is out and Tomlin's going to be out too if they miss the playoffs. But Parker, I saved the very, very best for last. All right. I got to know. I know you're a Colts fanatic, but I'm going to have you tiptoe the line here. Joseph Lee Burrow will come back and lead the Bengals to the playoffs and then a Super Bowl win this year.
Oh, big flag there.
There's not enough flags in your pocket, I guess. At this
not
point.
Enough. I ran out.
Oh man,
I do think that if he comes back, I do feel like that division's pretty wide open right now. So that certainly could get him into the playoffs. I think it might be a scenario in which they have to win the division to get into the playoffs. But hey, it could happen. Joey Burrow's got some magic, and once he comes back, who knows what's going to happen with that Bengals team.
Give me hope, Parker. That's all I ask. Give me some hope. As you can see, Pittsburgh, they're flailing a little bit. I think they're 5-4, first place. Ravens, don't look now. They were 1-5. I think they've won 3 in a row. They're in second place with 4 wins. And those Cincinnati Bengals, 3 wins at 3-6, but they play Pittsburgh coming up this coming week. We'll see how Pittsburgh holds up against that wide receiver duo in Cincinnati. Should be fireworks in the AFC North. Unlike your division where you're 3 games up, the Colts look to have this thing in hand. 3 games ahead of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Then you got the Houston Texans flailing. So let a man dream, Parker. Let a man dream. That's all I have to say. Hey, well, I think that just about does it here on this episode of First and 30. Parker, we do this for the shoe, right? That's what they say, for the shoe. This episode is for the shoe. We at the Chain Movement want to thank you for joining us here today.
Absolutely. Appreciate you having me on, talking some ball. It was a good time, and I know you and I talk personally about football all the time, so we are right in the midst of the best time of the year, and we're coming up here on the second half of the year to see how our ball clubs do heading closer to the playoffs, and wish you and your Bengals the best of luck, man.
I appreciate that. Oh man, Parker, I'll see you in the AFC Championship game. But until then, you know the drill, folks. We'll see you on the next one. The next one is the best one.